What's up everybody, Jay from Rock and Groove here. Today we're going to talk about the 5 must-have pedals for your pedal board. What's up everyone, welcome back to Rock and Groove, your one-stop shop for all things guitar. Today we are talking about pedal boards, and specifically the 5 most essential must-have pedals that you need on your pedal board, no matter what genre you're playing. So let's talk about it. Many beginner, intermediate, and even advanced guitar players go back and forth between what's good for their pedal board and what's a little bit more unessential. And so that's what we're going to talk about. And I have you 5 that you really need to pay attention to. Number 1, you need a power supply. There are a lot of folks that really want to focus on putting their 9-volt batteries in their pedals. That does work, but I hate batteries. Batteries run out. And when the batteries run out, your tone dies, and not to mention how much life does your battery have at any given moment. You need a power supply. There are many different types of power supplies that you can use for your pedal. One is basically a daisy chain, which is one plug-in that goes into the wall with multiple outlets that can plug into multiple pedals. Those do work, however, daisy chains can get really noisy and can really just kind of kill your sound in that sense. But they are an option, and if it's all you have, they're a really cheap option, but you do need a power supply there. The other thing is actually have a power supply brick, and they can come as isolated or more dedicated than anything, meaning that they can function as if you're having multiple plugins, individual isolated plugins into each pedal. However, they still only come off one brick. We'll take a look at my pedal board at the end of this, and you can see the way I have my power supply connected to all my pedals. Power supplies are essential in that aspect. You don't need to rely on batteries, but you don't need to have individual plugins coming off of your pedal board. One centralized power supply is what you need. Number 2, a tuner. You've got to have a tuner. There's no way around having a pedal board without having a tuner. You must be able to not only tune your guitar on the spot right there in a loud, noisy situation, but a tuner pedal also works as a mute between songs or any other point when something is happening and you need no sound to come out. Of course you can turn your volume down, but if you want a really quick stop, say at the end of a song, the tuner pedal does function as a mute, and the mute is a wonderful thing. Number 3, an overdrive pedal. I know some people may scoff at that, but an overdrive pedal is very versatile. Of course, if you're playing harder music like rock or anything like that, an overdrive gives you that great headroom breakup that is wonderful sounding that we all want when we're crunching it out. So it gives you that kind of overdrive, and pushed hard enough it can give you a distortion. A distortion pedal is also good in more heavier genres. But let's just say you're playing country or you're playing something like a softer pop. An overdrive pedal is still good because while you can turn your gain down, you can turn your volume up, and it can give you a wonderful clean boost at times as well. It all depends on your type of pedal and how you adjust that pedal. An overdrive pedal is a great way to have a little versatility to your sound, either with a boost on your clean channel or that hard crunch that we all like. Number 4, a reverb pedal. A reverb pedal gives us, unlike a delay, not so much of an echo, but the reverberations that you have in sound when they bounce around, echo essentially, really quickly in certain areas. So like if you're in a large concert hall and you scream, you can hear the reverb. You can hear it bounce back to you. If you're in a room that's empty with hardwood and you scream or yell, you can hear it bounce back and forth. You may hear the reverb on this video, that reverberation of the sound where it comes back in a round sense. And so that is essential because you can really crank those up and it can give you a really wonderful cathedral sound, loud bouncing sounds that fill the air, or you can turn it down and it could be very subtle and it could put a little bit of body to your playing. Number 5 is the delay pedal. Delay pedals are wonderful because what they do is they kind of give a little bit of a recording to your picking, and then it repeats it right back. And of course, how you adjust the pedal, it can tell how much it can go back and forth, how deep they are, how many times it can go after you play, but it also adds a little bit of body and depth to your playing. And regardless of your genre, you can really adjust these to do a lot of work with you. So there are 5 essential pedals that I recommend. Take a look at my pedal board. So here is my main pedal board. You'll notice that it's pretty big, and I made it that way on purpose and you'll see this is kind of a makeshift pedal board, but I made it myself because I wanted it to certain dimensions. And so I made this quite large so I could have plenty of room between my pedals. You'll notice that a lot of pedal boards, a lot of fancy looking pedal boards are just crammed, jam-packed with pedals. The problem is you're gonna have problems with the plug-ins, the patch cables, your power supply cables and everything like that. Not to mention, if you're in a pinch and you throw your feet down and you're quick, have to be quick in a song, you run the risk of clicking another pedal or clicking something off and just hitting your knobs and everything like that. So I intentionally gave myself plenty of room here. And so let's go through this really quick. Number one, there's my power supply. I'll use a K-Lean power supply. I've also have a Voodoo Labs that I use. This thing works awesome. I have a review on that. And the guitar comes in here first, and I also want to go through this and discuss the organization of my pedal board. So I go in through here through my tuner. Tuner goes directly into my first Overdrive, which is a K-Lean Pure Sky. Then I go into a K-Lean Crazy Cacti, and that moves directly over here to the Donner Yellow Fall Delay. So the pedal board with my plug-in actually goes in here and comes out this way. Now my Vox pedal, which activates the reverb within my AC-15, is my number one. A tremolo also goes to number two, and that's a good one there, but obviously the reverb is what matters here. So that's my pedal board, and that's all I have. All the modulation that I want, that I need for what I play, is here. Of course, there are all kinds of pedals. I just highly recommend that you don't cram them all into your board if you don't need them. The more your board has to go through before it gets, or your signal has to go through before it gets to your amp, the more of a chance it has of affecting your tone and your volume. So you want to have a little bit of movement as you possibly can. Also, this goes direct, the effect is in the amp, so that really helps me and saves me the spot of having another pedal and another place for my signal to die. So in here it goes through my tuner, to my two overdrives, and then to my delay, and then straight to the amp. And notice how the power supply works. It supplies all of these pedals its own place, so no batteries. I have it going under the board and coming out, so it's less cords that I could possibly trip up on and everything of that sort there. And now, of course, a lot of people argue what is the correct order for pedals on a pedal board. So let me explain how I put my pedal board together first. Number one, I want it going directly into a tuner, and that's why my tuner is the first in line. I've also seen people argue that it's the very last in their line. I've tried that too, it's fine, but I like it really close down here. And so it should go first thing, right in, goes in your tuner. Now the next thing you need in that signal line is your overdrive. So that's what I have here. I have two overdrives technically. But if you're pushing through and going into, say, a distortion pedal or some type like heavy metal, something, anything, just heavy rock, metal, anything that's a distortion, different from an overdrive pedal, that will go after. Then after your distortion pedal or your overdrive, that's when you'll go into modulations. And now that's when people start to argue, well, should my delay come before my chorus? Should my chorus come before my delay? Where does my reverb fit into that? And everything of that sort. As you can see here, for me, I just have one modulation at the very end of my line before this chord goes to the amp. The reverb and tremolo is already inside the amp itself, so I don't have to worry about that. And the reason is, you have to think about how a signal is affected before it reaches here. So when it goes through my overdrive, it's already got that breakup before it hits the delay. So if I had my delay over here before it hit the overdrive, it would affect how the overdrive will sound. So you have to think in terms of how one pedal affects the other, how it affects the other. I've even seen places, and I've had experiences with my overdrive, when I've taken two of the same pedals and switched places, how the tone completely changes for one of them. So this is my placement here. And so consider that when you're putting your pedal together, and remember, it's about your 5 main parts of your pedal board. Your power supply, your tuner, your overdrive, your reverb, and your delay. So think about that. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment, tell us what you think. If you set your pedal board up differently, if you have anything that you disagree with, let me know. I love to have conversation. Talk to us, let us know what you think. Like and subscribe again, and have fun.